In our modern information age, it seems that libraries have become almost obsolete. With so much data available over the internet, and in most cases right from the phone in our pocket, the idea of going someplace to search through individual books seems like a tedious, distant memory. But in antiquity, libraries were the great storehouses of knowledge, magnificent structures where humanity's collective wisdom and history was preserved, where records were stored for future generations to learn from and to add to. In the ancient world, there were several examples that come to mind, such as the Villa of Papyri, which is located in the Roman city of Herculaneum, in a villa that was most likely built by Julius Caesar's father-in-law, and contained roughly 1,800 scrolls, which were all buried when nearby Mount Vesuvius erupted in 79 AD. It was recently reopened to the public almost 2,000 years after it was submerged under a 90-foot layer of volcanic ash and mud, and remarkably preserved. Its blackened, carbonized scrolls have been rediscovered, and researchers are using everything from multispectral imaging to X-rays to try to read them. The Library of Celsus in modern-day Turkey was established around 120 AD, and the building's ornate facade still stands today and features a marble stairway and columns, as well as 4 statues representing wisdom, virtue, intelligence, and knowledge. The library may have held some 12,000 scrolls and was named after the Roman consul Tiberius Julius Celsus, who was buried in an ornamental sarcophagus inside the library. Long after the Western Roman Empire had gone into decline, classical Greek and Roman thought continued to flourish in Constantinople, the capital of the Byzantine Empire, and the city's imperial library first came into existence in the 4th century AD under Constantine the Great. At its peak, its collection grew to a staggering 120,000 scrolls, but suffered a devastating blow after a Crusader army sacked Constantinople in 1204. Nevertheless, its scribes and scholars are now credited with preserving countless pieces of ancient Greek and Roman literature by making parchment copies of deteriorating papyrus scrolls. Another exquisite example is the Library of Pergamum, constructed in the 3rd century BC, also in what is now Turkey. It was once home to a treasure trove of some 200,000 scrolls, housed in a temple complex devoted to Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom. According to the ancient chronicler Pliny the Elder, the Library of Pergamum eventually became so famous that it was considered to be in keen competition with the Library of Alexandria. Both sites sought to amass the most complete collections of texts, and they developed rival schools of thought and criticism. There's even a legend that Egypt's Ptolemaic dynasty halted shipments of papyrus to Pergamum in the hope of slowing its growth. Of course, the ancient Library of Alexandria, Egypt, is probably the most famous ancient library, in part due to its tragic destruction, which was considered one of the great losses in history. The city of Alexandria gets its name from Alexander the Great, and following his death in 323 BC, control of Egypt fell to his former general Ptolemy, who sought to fulfill Alexander's wish of establishing a center of learning, which eventually became the intellectual jewel of the ancient world. Little is known about the library's physical layout, but at its peak, it may have included over 500,000 papyrus scrolls containing works of literature, history, law, mathematics, science, and sacred occult knowledge allegedly passed down from the time of Atlantis. But the world's oldest known library was founded sometime in the 7th century BC for the Assyrian ruler Ashurbanipal, regarded as the last great ruler of the Neo-Assyrian Empire. Located in Nineveh in modern-day Iraq, the site included a trove of some 30,000 cuneiform tablets, organized according to subject matter. The king's personal library covered such areas of knowledge as medicine, mythology, magic, science, poetry, and geography, but it also housed several works of literature, including the 4,000-year-old Epic of Gilgamesh. According to Old Persian and Armenian traditions, Alexander the Great himself saw the royal library of Ashurbanipal when he visited Nineveh and was inspired by it, so much so that he desired to seek out all the works of the people he had conquered, translate them into Greek, and store them in a great library of his own, which was completed after his death. As for Ashurbanipal, he acquired many of his tablets through plunder from places like Babylonia, and interestingly seems to have been particularly worried about theft. An inscription in one of the texts warns that if anyone steals its tablets, the gods will cast him down and, quote, erase his name, his seed in the land. That said, the majority of its contents are now kept in the British Museum in London. There's a project called the Ashurbanipal Library Project, which is a collaboration between the British Museum and the University of Mosul in Iraq, which aims to bring the library back to life by documenting the cuneiform tablets as fully as possible in texts and images, making them available online, accessible from your smartphone. My name is Robert Sepehr. I'm an anthropologist. You can find my published books on Amazon. They make a great gift. Thank you so much to those who support me on Patreon. I truly appreciate it. And there should be a link below for those that are interested. Kindly share this video. Please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for updates. As always, I look forward to reading your thoughts in the comment section. Please have a wonderful week, and I hope to see you again soon.